Hello everyone, myself Shrinjal Sridhar Kurre, first year BMS student from Gomantak Ayurved Mahavidyalaya and Research Center, Shiroda, Goa. And today I am going to talk about a very unique topic from Ayurveda, that is Ritucharya, more specifically Grishma Ritucharya. Now what is Ritucharya? So Ayurveda suggests a daily regimen that we are supposed to follow to maintain our health and to prevent ourselves from the diseases. Now this regimen can be on the basis of daily routine, which is known as Dinacharya, and the regimen which is based on the changing climatic conditions or on the basis of Ritus is known as Ritucharya. Now the question that arises is, what are Ritus? So according to Ayurveda, the whole year, a 1 year is divided into 6 parts. So we have 6 Ritus. Okay. So basically Ayurveda describes there are 6 Ritus which are as follows: Shishir, Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad and Hemant. These are the 6 Ritus, Shad Ritus according to Ayurveda. Now these Shad Ritus are differed on the basis of the movement or position of the sun. Now I'll explain this more clearly. The northward movement of the sun, that is known as Uttarayan, results in increased heat of the places where the sun approaches. So this increased heat and dry hot wind absorbs moisture from the environment, and this period of time is termed as Adan Kal. This Adan Kal, in this period, the sun absorbs all the strength and energy from human beings. So human beings become weak. They have less strength during this Adan Kal. So the 3 Ritus which fall under this Adana Kal are Shishir, Vasanta and Grishma. The first 3 Ritus from Adana Kal. Now in Adana Kal, due to the heat, as I said, and due to the dryness in the weather, the human beings become weak and the sun takes away the strength from us. So the next one, or the next remaining 3 Ritus, they fall under another Kal which is known as Visarga Kal. So the southern movement of the sun or the Dakshinayan is known as Visarga Kal. The moon is the dominating one in this Kal. So the energy of the sun is weak, or the moon is the more strengthier one during this period. Now all the living beings gain energy during this period, so they are strong, they remain more healthy than they are in Adan Kal. So the Visarga Kal includes the remaining 3 Ritus which are Varsha, Sharad and Hemant. Now as I said, this differentiation is based on the position and movement of the sun, but there is another differentiation which is on the basis of months, or more specifically Marathi calendar or Marathi months. So it is as follows: Shishir is from Magha to Falgun, Vasanta is from Chaitra to Vaishak, Grishma is from Jeshtha to Ashad, Varsha is from Shravan to Bhadrapad, Sharad is from Ashwin to Kartik, and Hemanta is from Margashirsha to Pausha. So presently it is Jeshtha and Ashad. So the ongoing Ritu now is Grishma Ritu. So I am going to talk in more detail about Grishma Ritu later. Now as I said, Ritucharya is based on the changing climatic conditions around us. The various changes taking or occurring in the surrounding, they lead to various diseases or disorders in human beings. So these diseases are caused due to the imbalance in the environment as well as in the body. So this imbalance of 3 doshas in the body. Now what are 3 doshas? 3 doshas are the main dominating energy which, when they are in balanced state, they are responsible for our health, and when they are imbalanced, they cause disorders in human beings. Now we can say that they govern our body. Now this lead to the occurrence of diseases. Imbalance of 3 doshas lead to diseases. Now so in order to prevent ourselves from such diseases, we should follow all the possible regimen, Ritucharya, Dinacharya, which is described in Ayurveda. Now according to Marathi calendar, this is, as I said, Jeshtha and Ashad, which is governed by Grishma Ritu, as I said. Now Grishma Ritu in very simple words is summer season. So I will talk in detail about Grishma Ritu now. In Grishma, as the sun is very hot and the rays are sharp, as we all are experiencing these days, Kapha dosh, one of the doshas that sustains our body, which is responsible for growth in the body, which possesses cold potency, it is decreased in the body. So Kapha dosha is decreased in the body during Grishma Ritu. And another dosha, that is Vata, it is increased during this period. Now what does Vata does? It is responsible for movement, it is responsible for dryness, roughness. So Vata is increased in the body. Now, as I said, there is pathological increase in Vata. It is in two conditions, like it is a qualitative and quantitative increase of Vata dosh in the body. Now, what does it mean? Qualitative increase is increase in the qualities of the Vata dosh. Now, what are the qualities of Vata dosh? It is coldness, rukshata, that is dryness, lightness, that is laghutva, etc. These are the qualities of Vata dosh. Now, what is quantitative increase? Vata dosh as a whole entity increases. This is known as quantitative increase of Vata dosh. That is, Vata increases compared to other two doshas, Pitta and Kapha. So, what does this causes is it may lead to thinness, that is weight loss. It may result in blackish discoloration. It is known as Vang in Marathi, blackish discoloration. Also, the person will be prone to Vata disorders like Gulma, which is abdominal tumors. Next is constipation. The motions are not regular, and tremors, that is Kampa, Thartharne in Marathi, etc. So let's talk about the regimen that we should follow in this Grishma Ritu to prevent ourselves from diseases. Let's see the food that we should consume in Grishma Ritu to prevent ourselves from diseases. Now the first one is food having madhura ras, that is the food which is sweet in taste. Now the next is the food which is laghu. Now what does this mean? Laghu food is the food which is easy to digest. Now why easy to digest food? Because as I said earlier, that during this whole period of Adan Kal, humans are already weak. Their strength is very less. So in the same way, the digestive fire or the digestive power is also weak during this period. So if we consume more heavy food during this period, it is very difficult for our body to digest it. So we should consume laghu or light food during Grishma Ritu. Now next is snigdha food. Now what is snigdha? Is little oily or the food which is not dry. Next is shita food, that is the food which is cold. For example, milk or buttermilk, which is tak in Marathi. Now the next is we should consume more liquid food items during Grishma Ritu. We already consume all the liquid food items during this whole summer season. So that thing is again described here in Ayurveda also. Now example of food to be consumed in Grishma Ritu are drink which is produced by mixing cold water and sugar. We usually drink sharbat during summer season. They are actually explaining about it in Ayurvedic terms. Like next is ghee, ghruta in Ayurveda. Ghee we should consume, and the next is milk. Now the things we should consume in Grishma Ritu, we shouldn't consume in Grishma Ritu are alcoholic drinks are prohibited. We shouldn't consume alcoholic drinks during this season because they are ushna, they already themselves have a heat potency, so they might increase heat in our body when there is already a lot of temperature and heat outside. Now those who are habituated to consume alcohol, they should consume in very little quantity, that too diluting it with plenty of water. Now let's talk about activities that we should and shouldn't perform during Grishma Ritu. The first one is wearing light clothes, because if we wear very thick clothes, again there is a problem of heat. We will be uncomfortable wearing those clothes. Next one is exposing to cold air of fan. We should expose to the cold air of fan, AC, whatever, but not to the hot wind outside. Now activities that will remove fatigue. It depends on ourselves, the activities which remove our fatigue. Now what is fatigue is thakwa. Some we might feel good when we listen music, or we roam with our friends, or just by sitting under moonlight, etc. We can do whatever which removes our fatigue. And most importantly, Grishma is the only Rutu where Ayurveda describes sleeping during daytime. Only Grishma is the Rutu where you are allowed to sleep during daytime. So you can do that. Now activities we shouldn't perform during Grishma Rutu. They are: avoid sexual intercourse during Grishma Rutu, direct exposure to the sun, that is we shouldn't directly move outside without covering ourselves, or we can carry umbrellas, etc., and be safe from the harmful sun rays. Also we shouldn't perform heavy exercises during this Grishma Rutu. This was about what we should and we shouldn't perform in Grishma Rutu. And this was in general about Grishma Rutucharya. What is the regimen we should follow in Grishma Rutu, in simple words. Now I have one case study of one subject, so that I will share it with you, so that I can explain it more clearly, that how changing Rutus or how changing climatic conditions can affect a person. So the case is, the name of the subject is Kavita Kurre, age 44 years, profession housewife. Now she has complaints of joint pain, more specifically in her legs. Even if she doesn't do any of movement of her legs, she has joint pain. Next is, she has burning sensations on her palm and her soles of foot. Next is, she is suffering sleeplessness, that is insomnia, or you can say less sleep during night time. And the next is itching on her palm. These are the complaints she is suffering from past few days. And now how can I relate this with the Grishma Rutu? As I said earlier, in Grishma Rutu Vata increases, I said. So the subject complaining about joint pain is a symptom of Vata Vriddhi. That is, when the Vata dosh increases in the body, we can suffer joint pain during any movement, or while sitting, while running. Such activities we will experience joint pain. It is due to Vata Vriddhi, or increase of Vata. Then the next, the patient complains is about burning sensation. It can be caused due to the increased heat of Grishma Rutu. As I said, there is increased heat outside in the environment. It can cause burning sensation in the soles and the palms. That is, the outside heat can what can I say, can affect the body, and the body heat may also increase. Sometimes you may also suffer high temperature, that is fever also. Now the next is sleeplessness or less sleep. It is due to the decreased kapha in the body. Now basically kapha dosha is responsible for inducing sleep for human beings. Now if the kapha dosha decreases, it is obvious that the person will not get proper sleep, or there will be he will get less sleep during the night time. So this was all about Rutucharya and a small description about Grishma Rutucharya, and I suggest you all to follow this Rutucharya, Dinacharya, so as to remain healthy and to prevent yourselves from all the diseases that are caused due to the changes in the climatic conditions outside. Thank you for your patient listening. Stay healthy and stay happy. Thank you.